At 4:03 a.m., my phone buzzed once, then erupted with alerts from the motion sensor on my front gate. The screen lit up with a grainy image of a figure scaling my 8-foot steel gate, dressed in sweatpants and what looked like a glittery robe. For a split second, I thought it was some kid pulling a prank. But then the figure turned, and I recognized the sharp profile of Linda, the vice president of our homeowners association. She clung to the gate like a cat burglar, clutching a flashlight and muttering to herself. I didn't even get out of bed. I just stared at the live feed on my security app, stunned. Linda, of all people, was trespassing on my property in the dead of night. This wasn't just any gate. A year ago, as a part-time tech consultant for the county sheriff's cyber unit, I'd installed a system that streamed directly to law enforcement, complete with facial recognition and timestamps. Linda had no idea her late-night stunt was broadcasting to every patrol car within 5 miles. As she shimmied down the gate, grumbling about my unauthorized porch lights, I got up, brewed coffee, and waited for the sirens. Linda had always been overzealous, but this was next level. She'd once tried to fine me for a wind chime that disturbed the peace. Now, she was scaling my fence to enforce some petty rule. The irony was rich. Her obsession with control was about to crash headfirst into a sheriff's cruiser. 3 minutes later, red and blue lights flashed across my windows. I stepped onto the porch, coffee in hand, as Linda hit my driveway, still clutching her clipboard like a secret agent. The deputy, a guy named Tom who knew me from my consulting work, stepped out and spotted Linda. She froze, mid-mutter about code violations. "Ma'am, step back," he said, his tone flat. She snapped, "I'm with the HOA, inspecting for violations." Tom raised an eyebrow. "At 4 a.m.? That's not an inspection. That's trespassing." I pulled out my phone and played the footage 3 camera angles, including a thermal overlay for dramatic effect. Linda's face fell as Tom watched 10 seconds of her climbing antics, then cuffed her right there. This wasn't just about a gate. Linda's reign over our suburban Atlanta neighborhood had been a slow-building nightmare. It started small fines for unapproved birdhouses or clashing mailbox colors. She once tried to ban a neighbor's trampoline, calling it a potential aerial hazard. Things escalated when I refused to sign her petition against solar panels, citing my federal license to install them under a green energy program. That made me her target. Notices piled up, one for leaving my trash bin out early, another for my truck's improper parking angle. I let it slide, hoping she'd burn out. Then came the generator incident. During a storm, Linda falsely reported my backup generator for unauthorized wiring, causing a 12-hour power shutoff. My younger brother, Mark, relies on a medical bed powered by that generator. The outage nearly sent him to the hospital. Furious, I filed a legal complaint, and after a 3-week battle, Linda signed a settlement agreeing to stay off my property. Yet here she was, breaking that order in the dark, chasing a rule about string lights. By sunrise, the neighborhood was buzzing. Someone leaked the footage, probably Tom, because even cops love a good HOA story. The local Facebook group exploded with memes. Linda climbing with Mission Impossible music or edited with cartoon sound effects. Most neighbors cheered, though a few, like a woman named Susan, suggested Linda might be having a mental health crisis. That argument lost steam when someone posted Linda's recent selfie, captioned, "Restoring order to chaos," with a link to the HOA bylaws. By noon, neighbors were dropping by with donuts and whispers of gratitude. One guy asked me to install cameras for his raccoon problem, winking as he said it. My backyard workshop, a hub of monitors and servers synced to the sheriff's department, had become the neighborhood's unofficial command center. Watching the footage again, I saw Linda's face intense, almost fanatical, like she believed she was saving the subdivision from chaos. It wasn't just arrogance. It was a delusion. Linda's history wasn't always this unhinged. When she moved in, she hosted potlucks and passed out flyers about community pride. But once elected to the HOA board, her need for control took over. The barbecue incident sealed her reputation. She crashed a neighbor's cookout, measuring the grill's distance from the street and calling the fire department for smoke violations. The fire crew left annoyed, but Linda fined the family anyway. From then on, our quiet cul-de-sacs felt like her personal fiefdom. The gate incident was her undoing. By evening, the HOA board called an emergency meeting, forgetting I owned the land under their clubhousey tax auction purchase I'd never acted on until now. I changed the locks and left a note. Contact the landowner for access. Photos of the board fumbling with their useless keys went viral. Instead of their secret meeting, I hosted a code compliance celebration with burgers, music, and the gate footage projected on a sheet. Neighbors brought cakes and stories, laughing off years of Linda's tyranny. Then came a twist. A man from the mayor's office, Agent Carter, pulled me aside. Linda had forged signatures, including mine, on a $4,000 city grant for fake beautification projects, listing herself as the vendor. My footage and records time-stamped logs, her notices, everything turned her trespassing case into a fraud investigation. Carter said it could go felony. A local reporter called, asking about Linda's history, like when she reported a kid for sidewalk chalk. I confirmed it, and the story spread. 2 weeks later, Linda faced a judge. The courtroom was packed with neighbors' people she'd fined for shutters, dog grooming, or mobility ramps. The prosecution played the gate footage. Linda in her robe, flashlight in teeth, muttering about codes. Her lawyer's defense that she had emergency inspection rights crumbled when the judge pointed out the restraining order. Then came the bombshell. Police found maps in Linda's home, my house marked target, with notes on planned violations. It wasn't just trespassing, it was obsession. I testified briefly, explaining the generator incident and my brother's health. The judge's verdict was swift, guilty of trespassing, harassment, and violating a court order. Linda got community service, fines, a psychological evaluation, and a 5-year ban from HOA rolls, plus a 200-foot restraining order. She sat stunned as neighbors clapped quietly. Outside, someone handed me a gift card and a note. Thank you for standing up. The HOA paused all citations and planned new elections. Neighbors suggested block parties and scrapping intrusive rules. Linda sold her house and vanished. A new couple moved in, painting their door turquoisey, a small rebellion no one challenged. At a block party, a teen showed an animated short of Linda's saga, ending with, "Real neighbors protect, not punish." A wooden sign, "Linda's Climb," now hangs on my gate, a quiet reminder. The neighborhood felt alive again. Fairy lights twinkled, kids drew with chalk, and wind chimes rang. The state attorney general later contacted Melinda's fraud spanned multiple HOAs, and my evidence sparked a broader probe. I didn't want the spotlight, but knowing Mark could sleep safely made it worth it. Standing on my porch, I looked at the gate. It wasn't just steel. It was proof that truth, evidence, and a fed-up community could topple a tyrant. What do you think about Linda's actions and the neighborhood's response? Have you faced overreach or injustice in your community? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about standing up to power and what it means for justice. Your voice matters.